Hello, it's your friend Doublebite, and we're trying something a little different today. Also, look at me, I'm all doing fancy, not streaming, but like recording stuff with the different windows. So I've been playing a lot of this game, Race for the Galaxy, and I find it quite fun. There's no sounds, I don't know why I have my headphones on, but I guess, where's the habit? Anyway, it's a card game, it came out in I think 2012. There's a Steam version as well, and I am playing a free version online. It is accepted by Rio Grande Games, who are the producers of the game. So this is not an official version, but it's not like an illegal version. I like this better than the Steam version when playing against the AI because there's no animations. It's a lot faster. The Steam version is, however, great, and it's great for playing with friends. This is a game I played with Stip and another friend who I need to think of a nickname for. Brewer. Let's call him Brewer. Stip and Brewer a while ago, and the game drove me nuts, and it kind of really frustrated me. So I've been playing it obsessively since, and it's actually a pretty fun late game. There's a couple things about it that frustrate me, but they're kind of like by design. Anyway, so I'm gonna just do a quick walkthrough of how the game works, and then I'm gonna play a bit. I have played maybe 200 games of this against the AI. Because it's pretty fast, it's pretty fun, and the AI is quite good. Like, this is in theory, if I'm playing 3 player, expect me to win like 1 in 3 games against equal opponents. And I feel like I definitely lose a little bit more than I can definitely win a little bit less than 1 in 3 games. You're hurting my head a little bit. And against 4 player, I'm definitely well below like 1 in 4. So I'll do a very quick overview, and then we can get started. Hope this is still working okay. It looks like it is. Anyway, so the goal is we are building our planetary tableau, as it were. These planets and developments. And the game ends when one player has, at the end of the round, when one player has filled out 12, or when all the victory point chips are gone. So we're going to start by discarding 2 cards. I'll discard them and explain kind of why I discarded them, but then I'll go into more of an explanation. Alright. Hate this card. And I underrate this one, but I don't like it, so I'm tossing it. Anyway, so each round of the game, it starts with all of the players. A little bit. Doesn't look. Anyway, each player picks an action. Then the actions are done in order, with the person picking it getting a slight bonus. So the actions are explore, look at the top 2 cards of the deck, pick 1, discard 1. There are 2 different bonuses. I can either draw 6 cards total and keep 1, or I can draw 3 cards total, keep 2. Next is develop. You can play any card that has these diamonds. These are development cards. The person who picks this action gets to play 1 for 1 less. Next up is settle. You get to build a planet with these. If you pick settle, you get to draw a card after playing 1. Money. Consume trade. So consume is you must give up your goods or consume abilities. Right now, I don't have anything that produces goods, and my consume ability available is discard 2 goods and get 1 victory point apiece. So if I pick this, before that I can sell a good to get lots of cards, or I can do this to get double the points. And last is produce. My planets get goods. If I have windfall planets, I get to put a good on them. I apologize if you can hear a drunk person singing in the background. It's 3 a.m. in Philadelphia. So, this is a windfall planet. It starts with a good on it, and only gets goods on it if I pick produce. And these are all developments. Wow, they are loud and drunk. Anyway, they're right underneath my window. But I think they're moving on out. So let's go over what these do real quick. This is where it costs 2 cards to play, meaning I have to discard 2 cards from my hand to play it, and it's with 1 victory point at the end of the game. It gets me an alien good, or a genes good rather, which I can sell for quite a bit. This costs 2 from my hand, worth 1 point, and lets me discard cards from my hand to get victory points. This gives me +3 military, which affects basically some planets discard cards to play and some use military to play. And then last, this just reduces the cost of non-military planets by 2. It'll make more sense as we go forward. So what are my options right now? And I'm not going to take this long for the game once I start playing, but I am going to try to explain my logic. What are my options? Well, I have a card that lets me sell goods for a +1 card, and trade goods. So I want goods. This will let me do kind of a quick start as far as sell genes, which this is, it's green. Green sells for a lot, so I'll be able to get a whole bunch of cards in my hand. This lets me throw away extra cards for victory points, which I don't really have. This gives me a fuck ton of military, but it's expensive, and I don't have any military planets to play. Just kind of building towards nothing. And this makes all future planets cost 2 less. So I like this, and I like this. I'm going to pick settle, so I can pop this down, and hopefully the next turn I can sell the green to fill up my hand. Pick settle. Now let's see what the other people did. I chose settle. Red chose produce, which makes sense. They have a blue planet. They will produce a blue resource when they settle. When they produce. And green also chose settle. I'm going to settle this. It costs 2. I must discard 2 cards. We'll discard these 2 because this is really good. And then, since red produced, so green built this. Since build happens before produce, when red picked produce, green got a card on it. And now red has cards on both of these. My plan is to sell this genes for a ton of cards, so I'm going to stick with that. As you can see here, I chose consume trade. I'm trading a good. Red picked produce again, which is interesting because they already had goods, which means that the AI is smart enough to assume that we're going to pick, someone else is going to pick trade. And green picked trade as well. So I'm going to trade this. Now I have a ton of cards. Let's try to figure out strategies. This is a windfall. It doesn't produce when anyone else picks produce, only when I do. So I want some cards that are going to produce besides that. Let's see what we have. This, another windfall, it has a red circle, which means it's military. So since I don't have any military, I'm not going to be able to play it. Ignore that. This makes my other brown cards cheaper, not bad. Expensive military, ignore. Alien mojo, that makes blue cards sell for more and gets me greens. And as you saw, the greens are worth quite a bit of points. This just gets me cards whenever someone picks develop, makes things cheaper, and lets me do stuff with novelty goods blue. I want to slam this down as soon as possible so I can start getting those discounts. Because I picked develop, it costs 1 less. As you can see, red picked consume. That means goods will be used, so there are goods. Green chose settle, which means I will get to settle, I just won't get any bonus. Let's throw that down. I don't really have any blue. I'll toss that. I don't have any military, so I'll toss my 2 military ones. There's the 3 cards. Now I can settle this, and it will only cost me 2. I don't like either of these other cards, really. And there we go. So now I have 2 greens. I have 1 that will produce every time, one that will only produce when I produce, pick produce, and I have something that will generate victory points. So red seems to be liking to produce, and I'm not really in a hurry to produce on here. I want to get some better cards, maybe something that synergizes with these. So I'm going to pick Explore +5 because I want to see a bunch of cards. Alright, what do we got? So we got Explore +5, red chose Produce, like I predicted, and green chose Settle. The green's trying to expand really rapidly, whereas red's just trying to produce, sell, produce, sell. And you can't blame them. When they sell the goods, they sell for 2 victory points and 1 card total, which is pretty nice. What do we got? Pretty useless. This can replenish blue Windfall, which is nice. Lets me sell and gets me a little bit of military. That's nice. A blue plus I draw a card whenever someone produces. I can consume goods for cards, military, and military. Ugh, I don't really like any of these. I'm torn between this because it's a better sellability, better consumability than this. Because it like lets me refuel on cards. But right now I can eat up to 2 cards for victory points. Whereas and I'm only producing 1. I'm actually going to pick this because it lets me draw a card every time someone picks produce anyway, which is usually going to be red. Since green picked settle, I have a -2. I can settle this for free. And then red produced. So my strategy right now is going to be try to pop out a lot of cheap planets because I have the discount, and I know green picks settle a lot. And then do ×2 consuming whenever, because red's going to be producing a lot. You really want to try to piggyback off of what the opponents are doing whenever possible. And right now I have 0 victory points, 8 points total for my planets. Red is 6 tokens, 9 total, 0 and 4. I get a free settle because green chose settle. And now I get to consume these goods. Again, if you look here, green is stocking up on things because they have no consumability. So they can't sell, they can't use any of these goods. And they can sell them, but that's kind of a waste. So we're just going to keep on fishing for good cards. See if we can get some good synergies. No. Pretty good. Interesting card as far as trying to pick up some militaries, but we don't really have any militaries we want. This is nice. So it will, whenever someone produces, it will restock our Windfall world without us having to pick produce. So that's really nice. This gets us goods if we have a bunch of different kinds of goods, or it gets us bonus cards. That's pretty good, but a little fiddly. And this lets us, has a lot of different things. It lets us keep more cards when we explore, which is nice because we're exploring a lot. But it is expensive, and we aren't really working with a good surplus of resources. It lets us draw cards when we have alien cards, but we don't have them. So I'm gonna grab the research, the genetics lab, so that we can get this pre-sentient race filled up. And this gets us a bunch of points if we have a lot of victory point chips. Which, getting a decent amount, but not that many. So let's use this turn to sell, or consume for double points. Pick one to discard. We just don't have any military, so we're tossing the military. Pick a card to develop. Let's develop that, since we definitely want to. And now let's consume our goods. And consume is mandatory, since we have a consume here for a card, but no points. We still have to use it if possible. Okay. That's pretty good. But it will cost us 1 and we don't have 1. So we'll just keep fishing. And red chose settle, so we have that as an option. So this is a great card because it gets us 2 victory points for one thing, but we're getting towards the end game. When there's about 15 points left, we're not really going to make that much use out of it, and we're never going to have the cards to buy it. So we really just want cheap stuff that gets us a little bit of points. And we're probably going to toss whatever we get towards Prosperous World anyway, so it really doesn't matter. We'll just settle our Prosperous World and throw that out. Keep fishing. So we've got Explore 5, Explore +1/+1, and Settle. So we want things that cost 2 or less so we can get them for free. And that leaves us with that. It's kind of a weird round. Right now we're just kind of waiting for someone else to pick Produce so that we can get a bunch of these and then sell them all. And we're trying to fish for free points. Red seems to be choosing Settle instead of Produce, which is interesting. Green picked Develop, so they're trying to finish out their 12 and close out the game. We're not really getting any bonus points things. We have Mining World, Mining League, but that's not really great. We don't have anything that costs 2. So nothing super stellar. I'm gonna keep this 3 coster, even though we can't settle it right away, just because we will be able to next turn probably. So it goes. Now I really want to get a bunch of these goods sold, so I'm gonna pick Produce, even though I don't really like picking Produce. And we have Produce, Consume, Consume. So I toss this for a good, and then they consumed a bunch. This is probably the last turn of the game, so we're just going to consume. Consume, settle, consume. So as you can see, red switched gears from getting a lot of points to settling, which is interesting. But we're going to settle this as our last settle. And then start consuming goods. We're going to have some kind of sitting on the table. That just kind of happens. And we just barely won. Wow, 29, 29, 30. Jesus. That is the closest game I've ever seen. And let's just track our stats. Nice to start off with a win. Again, I usually win about a little bit under 1/3 in 3-player. So I'm pretty impressed by this. And one thing I want to track is point differential. Basically, a way to measure how much I'm winning or losing by. So 1 point to the positive over 1 game. I don't know if this is actually a good metric or not, but I don't know, I thought it could be interesting. Actually, let's save a little space. I feel like if I'm losing by a little bit and winning by a lot, that's a valuable metric. I don't know. We'll see. I like stats sometimes. They're fun. Anyway, so I'm gonna do 1 or 2 more games. I'm gonna try to do them a little bit faster. I want these videos to aim for about 30 minutes. I feel like that's decent length of time to watch someone else play a board game. But I hope this is at least a little bit interesting, and please give me feedback on this. Let me know if this is the kind of thing that you want to see a little bit more of. I just thought it'd be kind of fun. Alright, so we have a military starter, which never really works out for me. I never really do well with this, but let's see what we got. What we can pay for this. We have another green. Plague World's great. It's not worth any points, but it gets you greens and it consumes greens. So it's like a 1-card engine. Expensive alien, really expensive rebel base, amazing fucker. I hate this card. I'm gonna toss the alien since I don't think that's good to work for. Rebel base we can possibly pop out if we get really lucky. I'm gonna toss those two. I'm going to. The question is, my best play right now is if someone else picks settle, I get this for free. Because it is a military, so I need to have at least one military. If I have at least one military, it's free. If I don't, I can't play it. So military is all or nothing. If someone else picks settle, I get this for free. If not, I'm kind of hosed. So what I think I want to do, so I want to get this out, because that will make this cost 1. So I'm going to pick +1/+1. This will add 2 cards to my hand, making it easier to play this later, or even this turn. Hopefully I'll snag this for free later. So right now it's a bit of a gamble since our starting card doesn't actually do anything for us. And going all in on this and removing our other 3 cards is pretty expensive. I'm gonna explore. Red chose settle. Green chose consume trade. Pretty standard starting move with Alpha Centauri. You want to sell this rare mineral right off the bat to fill up your hand. And I played that intelligently. Go me. So you can discard one of these. So Pan Galactic League gets us lots of points for greens. We're already planning on playing 2 greens. Gives us points for military worlds, even though it lowers our military. I don't know what that's up with that. But that might be nice to work towards. We have Genetics Lab, which can refill our last of the Uplift Ganache and give us more cells. And this outpost, that's expensive. So let's toss that. Let's get our free green. And then this turn, we're going to sell that for a bunch. We have the option to settle this, but it will cost us 3. We want to hold on to this because it's synergy. We want to hold on to this because it's good. And we want to hold on to this. So we're not going to settle anything. We're just going to toss this. Now we're cooking with petrol here. Let's slam this down so we can get this one for cheaper and then see how it goes from there. 3 cards. This is actually pretty good because it will give us our first consumability. So I'll keep that. That's not very good. Expensive. And we're not really seeing any other military. I don't want to hold on to this expensive military in the hopes that we can get +4 later. +3 is actually easier than +4. But additionally, we want to build this, which is a -1. So let's just jettison this now. And what did they pick? I picked develop, they both picked to consume. Okay. Yeah, so now I'll start getting some of our synergies down. I really want to start producing greens whenever they produce, since right now it's a windfall, it doesn't produce naturally. So I really want to pick settle. They picked explore and consume. Ooh, that's a nice one. And we're not going to be very diverse. We're going in on green pretty hard. So I'll keep that. Let's get our green down. Now it only costs 1. This might be nice later, especially because it only costs 1, and we want to keep these 2. So toss up between throwing this, which gets us a freebie, but we already have discounts, or tossing this, but it does have a nice ability. And there's also a freebie later. Toss this. There's nothing I'm really aiming for later. And one of the core things about this game is you need to play for now. You can't really play for later. Frustrating, but it's just almost always better to play things when you can. They're not really picking produce often, but this person doesn't really have much to produce. Actually, this is great for them. So since this is great for them, and red has some incentive to pick produce since they have a windfall, I'm going to develop this so that when one of them picks produce, I can restock that. Yep, green picked produce. Red's picking explore a lot. The AI often doesn't pick explore, which is interesting. But this will let us sell greens. bit expensive, but it has a couple of neat things. It also lets us keep an extra card. So we'll keep the research labs for now. But we'll use the genetics lab, and we'll toss the blue since it's cheap, it's not that good. Whatever. Okay. Now here's an interesting question. Do we do? So I want to eat these up because one of these two opponents is probably going to pick consume, and we either want to get the double points or the sell. Right now we only have one consume ability, so the double points is either get 1 point or get 2 points. However, if we sell one of these, we'll get 5 cards out of it. So we're definitely going to pick consume trade. As you can see, red chose produce. Nice, it's great for us. We never want to pick produce if we can help it. I will pick consume trade. So I'll sell this boy, consume this. Now we are stocked up. Now we got some options. Let's see, we don't have any more green, but Pangalactic League will let us draw extra cards whenever anyone picks produce. So I want to get that as soon as possible. Notice that we have another Replicant Robots, but we can't play 2 of the same. That Replicant Robots is dead, we can sell it anytime. Another thing to notice is Biohazard Mining World lets us sell our greens for +2. So that's better than our genetics lab, so we can get a lot of value out of our greens. So let's get the Pangalactic League down while we can. We'll toss out our kind of obsolete Replicant Robots. We'll toss this card because I hate it. It gives you minus VPs, and it's like worthless. Still like Outlaw World a little bit. We'll toss Lost Alien Battlefleet, we're never getting up that high. Let's toss the Colony Ship. It's really not that good when we already have the Replicant Robots, and there's nothing big and fancy here. And we'll toss the Interstellar Bank because it's kind of useless. Okay. So right now, we really want to be starting to trade our goods in for stuff, since the victory point pool is getting kind of low. So we really want to get a sink for victory points. Research Labs is decent. This is probably the easiest one, but Research Labs is worth 2 points. And we're going to get free cards every time someone picks produce. So I'm going to develop this, and I'm hoping that one of the opponents picks consume so we can start selling some of our goods. Alternatively, I could try to sell and get a bunch of cards, but since they both have goods, one of them is going to pick consume, most likely. Yep, produce, consume, trade, develop. Again, red is picking produce a lot because they're assuming that someone else is going to pick consume, and they're right. So still want to keep that open. I'll leave this open since it has the synergy. Actually, I'll take this one because it gets us a free card every produce, and free cards are always nice. This is just not that good. This is just not that good. Consume. Consume. We're not picking up any more greens, which is unfortunate, since we do get a lot of bonuses from greens. So our choice is to keep taking consume ×2 and try to be getting those victory points that way. That's unfortunate. Oh, not so much actually. Oh, interesting. But if we just pick consume, we'll get outpaced by green, who's like really slamming down that strategy. Since red keeps picking produce, it's helping green out a lot more than it's helping us out. I think we want to try to get our synergies and then pick up points when we can. If you look here, we're at +1 military. This costs 3, this gets us 2. So let's try to slam that down. Consume ×2, settle, develop, perfect. Because now we settle that, gets us up to +3, and we can get another green for free. So there's only 5 left, which means they can sell this for 2 points, I believe. So it's unlikely that these will get consumed this turn. But it's pretty high that someone's going to produce this turn. So right now our goal is try to get a last minute push of points. We're producing more than we're consuming as far as points go usually. So I think I'm going to snag the Outlaw World just so that we have one last sink for our final points push. Alternatively, we could fish for a good card and hope that it's playable, but I'm not optimistic about that. Huh, they picked Explore. Yeah, green picked Consume, predicted. Red picked Explore, which is interesting. Blue picked Settle. I draw 2 and keep 2 because I have the Research Lab. I kept both of these. Replicating Robots useless, also useless. We pick a card to settle. This one's worth a little bit more points, but this one gives us our sink. Let's just take that. Ooh, I miscounted. God damn it, Red. So Red built something with a windfall. It means that they got a good. It means that they're able to sell it for 4 points. I miscalculated. They did end up killing the pile. Took a gamble. It failed. Then we end up losing. So we are now 1-1 in stats. In our point differential, we are 5 behind first place. So now we're at -4. Across 2 games. Oh my god. I cannot type with my left hand. Today we learned. Now we're at a -2 differential. And we're at 32 minutes. Let's just do one more game for this video. I'll give my voice break, get some water, and then I might do another video. Because this is what I was going to do tonight anyway. And let me just see if Burb is around after. They're at a party today. Wow, it's 3:30 and I haven't heard from them. Hold on. I'm glad they're having a good time though. You know, they've been at this party for like long ass time. Drop my damn phone. Anyway, let's start. Okay, so we have good sell and consume. Not bad. We have no military, so toss that. We do have 2 blues. This is a blue synergy. We have development. This is a development synergy. I can make this cost less. This one gives us a good sink. Let's gun for the Free Trade Association, and we'll toss this one since this one's nice if you get it late in the game, but not really worth going for. Excuse me. Right now, let's just get our engine going. Sell, consume, trade. I'll settle this and just get rid of that. But right now, our cards aren't great. So let's try to find something good from here. Ooh, we got some good options. So we have Explore, Produce, Settle. So we're going to get to Settle. This will let us restock this once we play it. This is a really good point generator. We have our replicant robots, which we made good use of last time. And we have Merchant Guild, which gets us points for our production worlds. I'm going to be a little greedy. Do a greedy strategy. We're going to take the Galactic Trendsetters. I'm not going to settle anything. So we need 5 cards for this. Let's ensure that we get it by selling here. And what did they choose? Produce and consume trade as well. And now we are slamming this shit down. Not developing, just selling. Now here's our choice. Do we keep the Free Trade Association for this to get us a little bit of extra points? Or do we get rid of this? Because they're both synergized with each other, so we only get to keep one. But we really want to be producing. Like, our goal is now produce as much as possible. Okay, so let's do that. Now I consume. So for the rest of the game, we are racing them as far as points go. I'm just going to pretty much alternate produce, consume. Not the most exciting, I know. But this will get us, now we can get essentially 2 points a turn because it will get us double points. And if they keep on producing, it'll get us 4 points a turn. It's real hard to race that. Again, not the most exciting strategy. And it ended up backfiring. They were able to just churn out more than us. It's a risky strategy. When it pays off hard though. Maybe I should have gone with a different one. But we did come in second. That was a 8-point differential. Damn. We're burning up that goodwill from our 1 win. But we have time for another one? We have time for another one. Yeah, let's do one more. I got time. Oh, Gold Earth again? Let's do a different one. Let's restart it. Okay, Alpha Centauri. I'm not huge on Alpha Centauri because it really pushes you towards a mineral strat, and it doesn't give you anything to sell. But if you pull off the mineral strat, you can get some sick games. Like, I had one steamroll game. Alright, so let's see what we got. This is nice if we're going aliens, but we don't have any alien synergies, so let's toss it. This is for military, we're tossing it. Straight up. So, what are our goals here? We want this, because it replenishes a windfall, so we'll replenish this for us. And we want this because it's discounted and that's our synergy. Since we start out with a good, we're just going to start out with the consume trade. It's almost always the best call. Now we can settle a good. Now we can settle something. We can either settle this, because it only costs 2, or we can settle this, which will also cost 2. I'm going to pick this, because they picked produce, so this produce ability will refill Alpha Centauri. Now we can sell this, and now we are stocked up, and this is refilled. And we tossed out a bunch of blues, and then we got this. We have a lot of useless cards here. That's not the end of the world. For now, they're probably going to pick consume. which is fine because we don't have any consumabilities. So our smart choices are either sell, because we can sell this for a bunch, settle to build this, or explore to see if we can fish. I'm feeling like fishing. I used to never pick this ability because it doesn't get you a lot of cards, but I've gotten more used to bouncing off of what the other players choose, and I think it's helped my game a lot. So they picked produce, consume, trade, explore. Meh. Meh. Yuck. These are all pretty terrible. I need to pivot a little bit and go with some blues. These are pretty garbage. Or we can actually afford this yellow, which is worth a lot of points, and yellow sell for a lot. Yeah, let's do that actually. So it costs 6. Ugh. So we have 6 cards in hand, so we need 1 more to pay for that. So I'm going to explore 1/1 so if we get something good from the explore, we can play that. Otherwise, hopefully someone else will pick settle and we can slam that down. They picked explore, develop, explore. God damn it. These are all terrible. At least this one gets us something, so hate both of these so much. Toss that. Pick a card to develop. This one does let us replenish cards a little bit and gives us a point sink. So let's do that. Shit, I miscounted. Hold on. Friendly game. Oops. Friendly game. I'm not going to develop that. How it says 8? Why did play? Oh yeah. Yeah, I can't count. Anyway, I'm just going to settle this big yellow one. Slam that down. We'll keep this since we had the discount. And now we're going to sell it and hope for the best. At least we have, our enemies don't seem to be doing great either. Okay, expensive military. Kind of bad. Expensive military. We are just not pulling anything. Alright, let's pivot a little bit. We can use this to start junking cards from our hand, and it will improve our cells. Since we're not getting anything good, let's try for that. So let's toss these militaries that we're not getting any use out of. We'll toss the genes thing since we'll keep this since it's cheap. We'll toss all of our gene stuff that we're not synergizing with. And just snag some VPs there. And we can get that, it's fine. And sell for some big stacks of cash. Okay, now we're getting somewhere, I think. Probably not fast enough. That's worth a decent chunk of points. And here we'll finally get consumability, so let's keep both of those. This will be free. Not worth much, but it'll be free. Let's just... And let's not eat any cards so that we can play that. Produce on a windfall world, slam that down. We want to actually get a victory point sink at some point. So let's just get some points here. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, we are not winning this one, friends. Well, this is discounted to 2 at least, so let's just try to settle that. They're just in a full production machine right there. And we still don't have any good sinks. Alright, let's sell this and hope for the best here. Okay, do we have anything? Cool, we can get discounts on our alien stuff. And we have some alien stuff, so let's, I guess, go for alien things. Don't have many turns in the game left. This one just did not come together. Plus these two, since these get us some points. But honestly, we almost don't want to get rid of points at this point, because the faster we get rid of points, the less we can build stuff. And we just want to build the high value cards. All we want right now is to build these high powered boys. So they are not going to be consuming this turn. We don't have any good consumptions. So let's do a sell. We can get 2 VP. So we can pick up a little something at least. Without burning out. Oof. Yeah, nothing came together this game. Let's just do what gets us the most points, which looks like Terraformed World. And finally consume a good for victory point. 8 cards in hand. We actually only lost by 1 just because our planets were so high value. So I think we did pivot correctly, but none of our synergies came together. That was a rough one. Still, that was only a -1 differential. I wonder if I'm calculating this differential correctly. I feel like I'm not. I think maybe, right? Whatever. Math. I have computers for that. That's my stance on math. Stay in school, kids. I'm gonna end this episode here, but I hope you had fun. It's a really interesting game. The idea of your cards in your hand being your currency is very frustrating, but very cool. And I've been having fun with it. And let me know if you like this, and I will definitely be doing some more. So I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, double bite out.